Let's keep it in college hoops for this next 120 with Scott Rude. Michigan State freshman Miles Bridges is expected to return to action on Wednesday when his team takes on Rutgers. Here's what Bridges had to say about being on the bench.
This is the longest I ever sat out in my life. Like, even if I got hurt before, I always played through it. But it's just a learning process for me, and it was a great experience for me to sit out.
Sound the alarms here at 120 Sports. Scott Rude, that was Bridges talking about sitting out the last 7 games. Can being out of the lineup actually help this young Spartan, or is that an overreaction?
That is not an overreaction. This is apt. This is proper. Miles Bridges is a decent reason for why they have 5 losses, but I think they have a very good chance of still winning the Big Ten regular season, and they should still get a 3 to 5 seed in the tournament. You know, it was interesting. About a week ago, Coach Tom Izzo apologized publicly to his players, saying that I scheduled too many difficult pre-Big Ten conference play in terms of non-conference.
Right,
and he's been doing it for about not stretching, but in the last 4 or 5 years, it's actually really been a blessing for them. And you can't just replace good competition that's going to then simulate the tournament. And in the last 3 or 4 years, Izzo's teams would go into the tournament with 7 or 8 losses. They'd be a 6 to a 10 seed, and they've reached the Elite 8 in the Final Four 3 times in the last 5 years. So it's because they play Kansas, they play North Carolina. They usually have 3 blue bloods in their non-conference. So I think that Bridges' absence has a lot to do with the 5 losses, almost as much. I think that they at least have 1 more win, maybe 2, because if he had played through all of that. But yeah, I think rest for a youth is substantial. You know, we talk about the transition from college basketball, where you're playing roughly 35 games, to then going to 82, plus the training camp games, which are about 8. So you're going up to 90. What if your team makes the playoffs? Everyone their first year says they're exhausted. But you're playing a lot of college games as well. If you played in AAU, you're probably a little more conditioned to it. He will be far more rested. And if you talk to our very own Antoine Walker, who was successful winning a national title his second year as a sophomore in Kentucky, lost North Carolina in the Elite 8 in his freshman year, he said that it takes about 10 games for you to get in the rhythm with your team. So he has plenty of time. I think they'll be okay, and they're clearly better with him.